In this video, you are going to see a method of sourcing that I like to play around with over time, and I have been talking about it more and more on this channel, and it's really using Keepa data, Keepa information from good Keepa graphs, and plugging it into the Keepa data product finder to find similar Keepa graphs. Now, I know it sounds a little weird, but it is an excellent opportunity to find things that have similar amounts of sellers with a similar price and a similar sales rank drops and so many other things. So if you're looking for good Keepa graphs that are similar to good listings that you can list on, then I highly recommend checking out this method and trying it out. So now before I get into that though, this is a portion of a webinar that I did for the Proven Amazon course community. Now the Proven Amazon course is where my course is housed. It's where dozens of other Amazon courses are put together for one small price. At the time of this recording, it's $39 per month to be able to access the course, plus to be able to see these regular webinars each and every month that are private to that course community. So if you go to bit.ly/pack course, that's PACCOURSE, you'll be able to see the ability to purchase the Proven Amazon course and access the full webinar where I went through 7 different methods and all of the other webinars that have come out in that community since then as well. But we do have a contest running on this video for a free copy of my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income. Just drop a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. Tune into the next video to see if you're the lucky winner. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the training on how to take Keepa data and turn it into a Keepa data product finder search that gets you similar Keepa graphs so that you can find more products that are similar to the one that you started with. Now, the 5th method is one that I have recently talked a little bit more about, and that would be Keepa parameters. And so that is taking a lead that is decent, that you've got good parameters for what a Keepa graph should look like. So that's why I'm going to use this one, because this ended up being, a 50% ROI. But I'm going to take this one, and you can take the Keepa graph itself and see if you can find other things that look like it. So you can either do it with a good lead, or you can do it with one that wasn't the best. And so this probably is not the best listing for me to use since there's no sales rank, but let me go. I think that we started with one like this. So you can take the data and you can turn that into more ASINs using Keepa. So I'm just going to use this as an example since we started here, even though I would preferably look for ones like this that have a good ROI already. But let's take a look at this option. Now, I don't like to have too many things at a low price anymore just because of the fees and all of that. I'm willing to sell it if there's good enough margin. I'm going to change this strictly for that purpose. But I do want to take a look. If we are looking at this Keepa chart, we need to go to this data tab, and we can take these parameters and put them into the Keepa data product finder, setting up ourselves to look for other Keepa graphs that look similar. So I'm going to go into Keepa now, and I'm going to click into data, and onto the product finder. And then within this, we can then take a look at setting up these different parameters from this. So we've got a sales rank current for this particular product. Again, this isn't a winning ASIN, but it's a winning Keepa graph, and it was close. It's like a 18% return on investment. It just doesn't have enough profit in there. So let's say there's a sales rank current of 28,000. We don't care about the current as much, but we care about these 30, 60, 90, and 180-day averages. So I'm going to take a look at the 30, where it's 17,000. So we would go into the Keepa product finder, and we would say, hey, under the 30-day average, I want to be between 15,000 and let's just put 25,000. Okay, because we want to create things that are around that that current sales rank data, that average. Now for the 60, we've got 14,000. Looks like 90 is also 14,000. So we can try to do a similar thing where we go with maybe 12,000 up to 20,000. And then the 180-day average would be 10. So we will actually be going further down here, and we'll say 7,500. We're going to go to 15,000. Okay. Just keep it around there. Now we are down to 337,000 products. And so what that means is we just need to continue to go further into this parameter. Now, the next thing will be that we're going to want to take a look at the buy box averages. I'm going to change this up because I want to find higher priced averages for this particular example. I don't want to be looking at super cheap products, but we do want to be looking for things with similar sales ranks at a higher buy box price. Now, you can say that there is no buy box. That's totally fine. I would probably say I want a minimum of $15 as a buy box. We're down to 174,000. And then for an average, just for example's sake, I'm going to say anywhere from 15 to 30. And then over 90 days, we can probably do, let's go with a 30-day average. It's like 25 to 40. We're going to do a 90-day average between 20 and 40. And then a 180 between 15 and 35, because I want to see that the price is increasing a little bit over that time. Now, I'm also going to put Amazon out of stock. So we're using this data. If this was higher, I would be using this data, similar to what I did with the sales ranks, to make those different parameters around that data to look for similar ASINs. And so I can run through another example like this whenever we're done, with this first one. I just want to show you the basics of how this works. Now, again, we're at 43,000 products, which is quite a lot. So we can continue to come down here a little bit further. We can look at specific categories so that you are looking at things that, are that you're able to sell in. So I'm just going to go ahead and do grocery because that's what we're currently looking at. And so we're looking at 379 products that meet those basic parameters out the gate. That would be good enough for me to say, all right, cool, let's go ahead and move on and see what we've got. But I do want to make sure that the offer count, at least for this example, has more than 3 sellers on the listing, just because I want to make sure it's not a private label product. So now we've got 121 products that meet all of these parameters, similar parameters up here, as well as 3 or more offers on the listing, and is currently in the grocery category. Now, if you wanted to expand that out and look at all the categories, you could, but I'm just going to click on Find Products to see what these Keepa charts currently look like. Now, not all of these things we will be able to list on, but the idea is how do we find more Keepa graphs that look like this? And you can see if I were to pull up some of these, let's just go with, Kind breakfast bars. That's fine. Not many people will be able to sell these, but you can see these Keepa charts. Now, I actually think that this 10,000 sales rank is probably too low for most of the use of this particular method, because you're going to be finding things that probably don't have as much profitability, and you're going to be looking for more wholesale type items at this 10,000 sales rank. But there are still options that could come up. Now, this is 32 count of this particular box. I'm not sure. So it'd be a 4-pack, I think. Let me go to Amazon real quick and see what this one looks like. Oh, this is a huge variation. I'm not going to get into variations. That would be the other thing that I would want to go back and change, because I don't want to get into variations much. I'm going to click on advanced filter so I can update that. And I'm going to make sure that the variations are not showing. I always have trouble finding that. There we go. No variations. Let's see. Now we have 29 products. Glad I saw that on the first one. So now we have 29 products without variations. Let's take a look at, there's a pack of 12. I don't want to do a pack of 12 of can of beans. That's huge. Let's just look at these chips real quick and see what the Keepa chart looks like. Looks like the sellers are going up and the price has started to go down. That's a little bit uncomfortable for me to see the price going down. So we're going to just keep moving on to another one. Oh, that's funny. These prunes came back. This is a 2-pack of these prunes. Let's see. That's what we started with for anybody that joined us late, was prunes. And I think that's kind of funny. 2-pack of 3.5 pounds. I think that they were $11 a bag, if I remember right. Kirkland signature. Let's just look this up just to make sure. Yeah, so they're $11.99. So that won't work. I just thought that was interesting. I would have passed on it otherwise. Let's take a look at maybe, I don't really want to do Nespresso because that's such an odd brand for me. Let's see. We can look at Quaker, see if that's doable. So this is another good Keepa graph. Again, this product moves. And so I get concerned that because it is under 10,000 or under 20,000 sales rank so consistent that it could be a problem. But this is actually an example of a listing that may allow you to sell higher than the buy box. And I'm only saying that because we've seen example after example of that in the My Silent Team community with Jim showing his Keepa graphs of these low sales rank items that sell extremely fast and consistently, but they are something that you can list a little bit higher in some instances. I don't suggest that for new sellers all the time, but it is an option in these types of examples. This is so big though, I probably wouldn't want to ship it. So we would move on from that one. Again, though, the idea is how do we find some of these Keepa graphs that look similar? And now I'm just going to quickly scroll to see if anything stands out that isn't a ridiculous 20 pack or a 12 pack or something like that. And if nothing stands out, then that's fine. Here's one option. Let's take a look at a 6 pack. Keepa graph is fairly steady. The sales rank is a little odd. I'm not sure what the cost of this is, but you can see the seller count has decreased. Let's take a look at this one. This is Crystalite on the Go. Again, I apologize if this is anybody's listing. Whenever I do these things, I always feel bad if they are, but let's take a look. So 279, was it raspberry or raspberry lemonade? This is raspberry green tea. Okay, so 648 from Walmart. I don't know if that is accurate or not, or if that's a third-party seller. And we can click into it and see. I'm just curious first. Okay. Let's see what they got. 648. No, this is a third-party seller, so we don't want to buy that product. We need to make sure if it's from Walmart that it's sold and shipped by Walmart. This may be a situation where it is an Instacart type product. So we should be able to find this. This is one I'd probably spend a little bit longer searching for the right product. But let's see. Instacart, I thought I saw one. Let's see, these are 248 here. Maybe green tea doesn't exist anymore. Maybe that's why it is so much cheaper. Or sorry, it's so much more expensive and it's been losing ground on sellers. Okay, let me try on the Go raspberry green tea. And then if I don't find anything, we'll move on. Because I actually liked the way that particular product looked whenever we're looking at the pack of 6 with this Keepa graph. Again, 648 here. This is 4146 from Amazon. I can look at that really quick. If you purchase something like this from Amazon, you would want to make sure you didn't do it with your Prime account and make sure that it is a seller. Okay, it is Amazon selling on this product. So I'm not sure. 39.39. Hold on, let me do this. 39 divided by 12. No, not going to work. So I have to do that over here. What is that is 328, and we're looking at a 6-pack. So we're looking at $20. So that will not be profitable if we bought it from Amazon. It'd be just over that amount. My suggestion then is if you found something like this, I would take note of it and look in store at your own regional store. They may have something like this for cheaper, like $2 a box. And in that instance, it wouldn't be extremely profitable, but it would be close enough. And with this Keepa graph, I would feel comfortable sending it in because, it's something where it's losing sellers and the price has been increasing because of that. So I just want to point that out. But this is something that we discovered strictly because of the Keepa parameters that we used from that one listing. Now, if we wanted to use probably a more common example, I would say, I'm actually going to clear these filters out. So now we're starting over. I want to use this one that didn't sell as fast, but did have good data and it was actually profitable. So you can see what this looks like. Again, we will be going over the hour because I've got 2 more that I want to go through. They'll be a little bit quicker, but this is something that I want to make sure everybody understands. So the sales rank piece, this is much more of a typical replen sales rank than the 10,000 one that we were just looking at. So I would come over here and I don't care about the current, but I'd say, all right, 30-day average was 109. So I'm going to go in here and do 30-day average for maybe 100,000. to 120,000. And then we're going to look at the 90-day average was 145. So we're going to do 130,000 to maybe 155,000. And then we're also going to take a look at this 180. It says 153. So we're just creating these little parameters here, and 145 to 165, and see what pulls up. So now we have 63,000 products with that. Now we also then want to take a look at the buy box. Now the buy box averages 32.29 were the 90-day and the 180 days. So we're looking at about a $30 average buy box. Let's just go with 25 to 45, and I'm going to do 25 to 45 again for that. And we want Amazon out of stock. So now we're down to 10,000 products. Those are our basic parameters. I would also come back here and see the seller count. Let's see if that's on here. New offer count. Well, that's difficult because it's been out of stock recently. So let's just go over to the new offer count option and say we want a minimum of 3 again. Brings us to 675 products. I think that's totally fine. You could also say, hey, a minimum of 3 over the last 30, 90, and 180 days. And now you've got 527 products that meet that minimum of 3. And so then you could also, as I mentioned earlier, you could change out the categories, or you could come back. I do recommend doing no variations if you're a newer seller. If you want to look for variations, that's fine. But let's just start with these 313 products that have a higher sales rank, but also a decent price point. That makes sense that we would get some CDs and other things like that. So we're going to try to avoid those if we can. Bath and Body Works, if you aren't gated in it, this could be an option depending on the price of these products. Looks like they're 2021 core scents. I don't know if this is even something that we could find. I'm not going to take time looking for that one though, just because of that. Let's see. I'm just going to try to find something that's more generic if possible. And it may be better to narrow this down by category, because these are all things that most people won't be finding and selling. Okay, pretzel snaps. Let's take a look at this. Oh, wow. All right, so these pretzel snaps, 16 ounce. I don't know if they're any good. I don't know how much they cost. Let's see what we can find. So the Keepa graph looked good. Snyder's of Hanover store. Looks like it's a new listing potentially because there's no reviews, but let's find out how new. Oh, wow. It's not. It just doesn't show any reviews on there. So that's really interesting. Not sure why it wouldn't show reviews, but we will see if we can find anything. 16 ounces. Go back to this. This is a different packaging, but it looks like it's $3 from Walmart. If we can find the non Q4 packaging, that would be beneficial. We've got different delivery options. I would be willing to bet that a lot of stores have the regular snaps at about this $3 price point at the regular price, or at the regular bag. So I would probably say, hey, this is the price, especially if I'm a retail arbitrage seller. This is 16 ounces, so it would cost about $9. You make 44% return on investment, or $4.93 on that. I think that's totally fine. This is an odd one, but it does look like it moves and it has a fairly steady price point. The sellers are increasing a little bit, but I'm okay with it. But this is something that then you could take this information and go through these other steps again. Start looking up these Snyder's of Hanover pretzel snaps and look up packs of 2, right? I think I saw that on here. There's a pack of 2 here. On Amazon. What does the pack of 2 have? So if we got that for $6, we're not making much money, but there's no other FBA offers. Were there FBA offers in the past that sold higher? Doesn't look like it, but this is at least another option, right? So you could go in and start looking at these same brands, these same products, looking for multi-packs, looking for bundles. Maybe this is bundled with some sort of a Jif peanut butter, or this is bundled with another type of pretzel. Those are the things that you can look for. Just continuing to run through these, saving these leads, tracking these leads, looking up more of these parameters in the Keepa Data Product Finder, and doing that over and over again will get you hundreds of different options. This, to me, hits my metrics of a minimum 40% ROI. That's totally fine. 40% ROI and $4 profit, I'd be fine sending this in. especially since I've got a lot of things worked into here, like my shipping to FBA and all the different storage fees. And this is with the peak Q4 rates versus the non-peak. If this was outside of Q4, the profit would be $5 instead of $4. All of these different things play and work together, in my opinion. So that is another option. We found at least a couple of different options just from these few different methods. And I'm sure if we went through these and continued to look at maybe the seasoning option or some other products that weren't CDs and books, then we could find some other good products just continuing to do that. Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope that seeing this method of utilizing Keepa data and turning it into a Keepa data product finder search allowed you to expand your horizons, so to speak, on what it is that you can do from a sourcing perspective. I know it's a little bit more advanced and it's kind of a weird technique, but it does provide some pretty cool results, as you saw in that video that we just went through. Now, as a reminder, that video came from a clip of a webinar that I did for the Proven Amazon course community. And if you're not a part of the Proven Amazon course, then I highly recommend checking it out at bit.ly/PAC course, PACCOURSE. That link is below and in the description. And you can check out all of the courses for the low fee of $39 per month at the time of this recording. It may change in the future, but it's always been a fairly low price for the huge amount of value and all the courses that you get, plus the monthly webinars that you get for being a part of that community. So go ahead and check that out there. Also, if you leave a comment down below and tune into the next channel, tune into the next video and subscribe to this channel, you can be entered in to win a copy of my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income. And I hope this video helps you and blesses you. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.